All right. So one of the things that make this such a fun time is that we get to speculate on things that probably ultimately aren't going to mean nothing,
Won't happen.
right? Because PJ Tucker has opted out of his contract, and of course, so many Bulls outlets, Bulls. Where more than likely he's going to re-sign with the Miami Heat and get a couple of extra million on a probably extra year or something like that. But with that being said, let's speculate. Let's have some fun. PJ Tucker. Would you be
Yes.
interested in him coming to the Chicago Bulls?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be the same PJ Tucker. Nah, it all, again, depends on how much money this mug want. But I watched PJ Tucker shut down Giannis as Miami PJ Tucker. I watched PJ Tucker give Giannis fits as Miami PJ Tucker. Not once, not twice, but 3 times this season. Yes. I would absolutely take PJ Tucker on this team. Somebody who, and sometimes, right, it's just a strategy move. It doesn't even have to be this is the best move available. Now, granted, PJ's still going to get the bag to me. I think, what was he making last season? I don't even remember.
7.5, I believe.
7.5. He, like you said, he's probably going to get a little bit more money. He's probably going to get a nice little, 11 to 12 mil 2-year deal with a player option in the second year. That's all front loaded, right? Like, I fully see that happening for him down in Miami. But if he does become available, I would absolutely pay him, not even just for the play on the court, but to give the Bulls a little bit of an edge, a little bit of nasty, a little bit of, hey, you're not going to push my guys around. Like when Alex Caruso goes slamming into the hardwood and nobody says anything to the guy that did it. I'm not saying you got to put a fist in his eye, but it would have been nice to see a little chest to chest, little body up, little, yo, we're not doing that out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would pay to get a little bit of an edge. That's a real edge, not Tristan Thompson yelling and Ayo Dosunmu confused on the bench. And then I would pay for it just to get the insight into how he's defending these guys. The Bulls need help defensively, not just on the defensive side of the ball, figuring things out, but also on defensive scheme. Guess what? I can't play Giannis the way that I play this guy, the way that I play this guy, the way that I play this guy. There's no clamps in the Bulls building right now outside of Alex Caruso. And as much as I love Alex Caruso, I can't send him out there to guard Giannis for 40 minutes. So point. I would absolutely take PJ Tucker in the building, if for nothing else, to pick his brain and figure out what's going to be the best defense versus a lot of these players and have somebody with the body that's able to do it. Or at least to teach Patrick Williams how to do it. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing for me.
Agreed. I think I look at it like this. Is that the only concern that I have with PJ Tucker is that he'll take up so much of that. Now, keep in mind, I think a lot of people forget too, the mid-level exception can be split between multiple players.
Yeah.
Right? So we have $10.1 million mid-level exception. Technically, you can sign 2 players for $5 million. And you still have your veteran minimums and things you can use. But with that being said, PJ Tucker, if he's already on a 7.5, you gotta look 8% increase in the second year. So you're looking at that starting salary being around 8.5 million with an increase going into that second year. That takes up the most part of your mid-level exception. Is PJ Tucker worth the biggest signing chip that we have? That's the only question that I have there.
Is he worth the biggest signing chip that we have? You know what? That's it sucks to say, and I feel like it's a cop-out answer on top of it, but that's really a question that you would have to answer depending on what he gives you, right? Like, would Miami say that he was worth it for them to have because they didn't run into Giannis, right? That's why they got PJ. They got PJ to play against Giannis. They didn't run into Giannis. They didn't have to deal with Giannis. Boston got Giannis. So now you're talking about, okay, well, we were worried about that as the best. PJ didn't give us everything that we thought he was going to give us here. Can Miami say that he gave them the bang for their buck, right? I mean, unfortunately, you have to wait and see. I would take a chance on it, right? Because I feel like it would put your team defensively in a different mindset, and a team that listen, it is a defensive team, right? Like at the end of the day, it's still Lonzo, P. Will, Alex Caruso, Ayo Dosunmu. None of those guys are Lonzo is, but out of most of those guys, right? You're not talking about shooters out here. You're not talking about offensive demons out here. You know what I mean? We're talking about guys that you put out there to be defensive juggernauts and lock down the other side's best player. I think PJ Tucker would be an excellent asset into that. And PJ in that corner 3, man, they like this out here. So you finally have somebody off of the bench who can consistently knock it down. I would give it because everybody else you're bringing in, right? Like, I mean, who are we using now? We've said Mitchell Robinson a million times, right? Is Mitchell Robinson going to be the key to shutting other teams down defensively? That's the question
Well,
you kind of
the
have to
thing
answer.
is too is that it's not about, but in the playoffs, not as we've seen, it's not about shutting down somebody 1-on-1. And do I weigh it this way? Yes, PJ Tucker brings intensity, he brings leadership to somebody who's been around for a
Yeah.
while, but the Bulls bottom of the league in offensive rebounding per game. Bottom of the league in pick and roll defense, right? No matter how good the guard defense, the guards that you mentioned, like PJ Tucker brings a lot. I want to see the Bulls then would have to bring somebody else either through a trade or through the draft or something, because I still look at that front line that we need as the biggest thing, our biggest need in the offseason right now.
I would agree, but I also have to remember that we're looking at it with pretty much an entire season of no P. Will, right? Like, what does that front line look like with P. Will standing next to Vooch? And I know there's a lot of people that say P. Will is not a power forward. I tend to agree with you. I think he's a small forward, but right now you've got DeMar. You got to play small ball when DeMar's breaking Wilt records. But I think there's always, right, like a lot of this is the development of the same name we keep saying. We need P. Will to be the fourth pick in the draft worthy.
Yeah.
I think bringing PJ Tucker into the building could help you with that, and help you with your defense, and help you with your offensive rebounding, and help you with, right, because it's just adding a big body into the mix, and somebody that's not going to get pushed around. And I think I'm gonna be real with you, the Bulls got pushed around a lot last year, especially in the paint. When your defensive leader is Nikola Vucevic, you're going to get pushed around a little bit. I don't think I've ever seen a tough moment out of Vooch, to be honest with you. Like,
No. And in a couple of those Boston games during the regular season, Vooch absolutely shows some toughness. Now, I won't say that you can't say, hey, that's worth the whole season of it. I'm not saying that, but yeah, Vooch showed some flashes of toughness.
Well, see, this is my thing, right? When I'm saying like getting pushed around, like, you couldn't send Vooch. Like, everybody complains about the Milwaukee series and what it was, and I think the Bulls' makeup absolutely plays a part into it, not having another real big man. But you couldn't send Vooch in there. Yeah, there was no way you could have sent Vooch into the post where he dominates at, because there was 3 dudes down there that absolutely was going to be pushing him around.
Also, though, granted, had the Bulls been able to shoot from outside a little bit better, you could have got him a little bit of space, right? I'm not saying you could have gave him a lot, but you could have got him a little bit of space. Yeah. The way the Bulls were shooting 3, literally, the Bucks just was like, you know what? Make them beat us from 3.
Bro, if anybody could, no, I 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
I feel like you need that. We need that, and not to say that PJ Tucker is that, but we need to find or turn somebody on this team into that Joakim Noah kind of player. The guy that no matter what is going to stick up for your guys. He's gonna be the vocal leader on the floor. He's gonna be the guy. We got a lot of calm guys on this team. Zach LaVine is probably the most fired up guy on this team, and Zach LaVine really don't get that fired up. Like, he just kind of look at the refs and he'd be like, you're supposed to give me that call, right? Well, you missed it. All right. Yeah, I mean, like, I need a little
See,
fire.
I understand, and a lot of Bulls fans put that fire. But at the end of the day, like, you can be all fired up you want, but you need skill on the floor. Now, I'm not saying PJ Tucker's not skilled, but while we're talking about bringing in defense and us needing defense, guess what PJ Tucker in 27 minutes a game, what his defensive rating was last season? And this was the best defensive rating of his career.
The best of his career?
He had the best defensive rating of his career last season.
109?
No, 115. Guess what Vooch's defensive rating was last season?
His was like 111, wasn't it?
No, it was 108. He had a better defensive rating than PJ Tucker. So I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like, I would love PJ Tucker as a secondary signing to your main, getting what you need mainly. I love. But looking at spending most of our mid-level exception on PJ Tucker, I can't get with. I'm not saying that he may completely get in there and do his thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
We'll see. I don't know. PJ, I'm not mad. Listen, there are players I'd rather have than PJ Tucker. But if we're left with nobody,
I feel you.
I would take PJ Tucker on that mid-level exception.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I think that's about it, though, my boy. Don't you? We think we covered everything pretty much.
Yeah, that's it. That is it for today.
You good? You zoned out a little bit. You okay?
No, because I was thinking about the fit of would Billy Donovan actually play PJ Tucker and P. Will together, and that would be a heck of a defensive lineup.
I think he would
Imagine Javonte, P. Will, and PJ Tucker out there at the same time.
and Javonte actually gets to play the 2 guard.
Yeah, he actually gets to play the 2.
I think he would have to.
Yeah, he would have to in that.
Yeah,
That's a
so
yeah.
if you
My
bring
bad.
PJ in,
I was daydreaming about our Bulls actually winning some games. That's it, fam. That's it. But go ahead, man.
Hey man, I was wondering why you were looking at it so lovingly, dog. Hey man, follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Man, we appreciate y'all for showing so much love.
Yep, absolutely. And you can follow me at CEO Haize, the CEO Haize. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. Now for your second listen, the mock draft. The actual draft is coming up, not the mock draft. Go and check out NBA mock draft. It's the scientific method. Now, like I said, Kyrie ends up being gone. You can ball up every mock draft, throw it away. It's going to be completely gone. But with that being said, go and check out NBA Mock Draft. It's available wherever you get your podcast. That is it from us for today. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. This is Locked On Bulls, and we see you lovely and beautiful people tomorrow. Peace, y'all.
Peace.